Marcus Rhode, 24-16-0 with 24 knockouts. He's been KO'd 6 times in his last 10 fights, and 2 of those 10 were no decisions. Butterbean, king of the 4-rounders, 57-1-2 with 44 knockouts, 341 slim pounds.
Slim pound, I must have missed something here.
Well, now that he's opened his own barbecue stand down in Alabama, he's probably put on a few lbs.
Any questions?
He's his best customer, I'm sure.
Gentlemen, touch gloves, get back to your corner, and good luck.
Scott Butterbean, a kind of a sideshow in the world of boxing.
To fighters like myself and other fighters who fought had long careers, he's just kind of a clown for the show, and that's it to me. He fights 4-round fights and usually fights guys that have a very faint heartbeat and make sure he wins.
One thing you can't deny, though, he's been marketed superbly with the red, white, and blue, and ever since he came out of the tough man competitions, he's definitely the people's favorite because, you know, he's got the midsection like a lot of the fans.
Like most of the fans of the world, yes. You know, he's a big guy, and he's 5'5" and 341, so amazing. Just amazing.
Big right hand by Marcus Rhode. Now, Marcus Rhode has 24 wins, 24 by knockout. All of his wins have come by knockout.
Yeah, with his wins over people nobody's ever heard of before either, so that makes a difference.
Butterbean has fought 6 times this year. This is his 7th fight.
He's surely not get worn down, though, at the pace he fights at, and the fact he only goes 4 rounds. But he is, like you say, the fans like him. They can all emulate him and look like him and feel like him, so they say, hey, I like this guy. He looks like me.
As the fans relate to his girth.
Marcus Rhodes came out of Minnesota, was not a bad amateur, had a little bit of courage, but in the big fights I've seen him, he showed some dog. I hope he doesn't do that tonight. He can go out there and fight with Butterbean, throw that left hook into the body like that. He will give him a hard time.
It's a good body shot now. You know, Marcus Rhode could make a name for himself to be the 2nd person to defeat Butterbean.
Yeah, this is a big opportunity for him.
Butterbean was TKO'd back in 1995 by Mitch Rhodes in Madison Square Garden.
Was it a cut? Or?
Got caught in the corner. In fact, I was at that fight that night. And Butterbean, an hour before the fight, was in the crowd doing some interviews with some local TV people. Obviously not focusing, maybe believing the hype a little bit too much.
Starting to believe his own press clippings. Butterbean's kind of like he's mired in mud. I mean, he just kind of stands there and takes a shot. I mean, there's no question he's a tough man, but can't be considered a boxer per se.
Do you think ultimately Butterbean will fight one of the top fighters, or is he destined to just be the sideshow king of the 4-rounders?
I mean, first of all, how would you sell it when he's fought nothing but 4-rounders? Well, all I know is when people get to move up in the rankings, you got to get a title shot or a contender. You have to have fought a 10-rounder somewhere with somebody. And 10 rounds to him is out of the question.
Never gone more than 4.
At 341, he's not going 10 rounds.
Of course, back in the days when he was the tough man, those aren't even 3-minute rounds.
No, 2-minute rounds. He's done very well. They've done a nice job marketing. There's no doubt about it. Look at the jab. Even Marcus Rhodes hits him with the jab. The good fighters would have a hard time fighting him because they'd ruin their hands after about 4 or 5 rounds.
When we return, I'm going to get Scott Ledoux's strategy if he were to be in the ring with the Bean. What would Scott do? We'll find out in a moment. Back to Pepsi Arena in Denver, Colorado. Larry Michael and Scott Ledoux coming up a little bit later tonight. The WBC Lightweight Championship of the World. St. Luis Castillo defends for the first time against the former champ, Stevie Johnston. In the ring, the very recognizable figure of Butterbean. Going up against Marcus Rhode, and going into the last break, I was going to tell you, Scott, what would your strategy be against Butterbean?
I just move in and out on the guy because he can't move. All you do is move in and out, like Rhodes is doing. Don't stay in there. Get in there, throw your punches, and get out. And don't go straight back. Because all Butterbean does is just walk forward in a very slow walk, to say the least.
Now, do you really think that Butterbean has power? I mean, he's got a lot of knockouts, a big, strong guy.
He's got a lot of power because he's a big guy. He's got some mass behind it. But to be a power puncher, it's speed times the mass equals the force. Obviously, no speed in his punches. Just authority because he got so much weight there.
You gave the first round to Rhode.
Yes, I did. Rhode out-hustled him, out-punched him. All he's got to do is keep doing what he's doing, not let this guy get off on him on the inside. Now he's got him up against Rhode. Now go back to the middle of the ring, make Butterbean walk over. He could get exhausted doing that.
Butterbean throws those real wide punches.
Marcus Rhodes has the ability to beat this guy if he wants to. There's no doubt about it. Oh, yeah, that's right. Just step off, make him move. Don't let him get set. That's all you got to do with that big guy.
And Marcus Rhode has been knocked out by some of the better fighters in the recent years. Tommy Morrison knocked him out. Big Joe Hitt, remember him? He knocked him out. Jeremy Williams knocked him out. Lance Whitaker knocked him out. Vitaly Klitschko knocked him out.
You're talking about guys that got fast hands that can hit. We're not talking about that with Butterbean. We're talking about a big, strong guy that tries to intimidate people.
Shannon Briggs knocked him out, and last time out, Andrew Galata knocked him out.
He's not. None of those guys are in the ring right now. It's Butterbean.
Those are legitimate
fighters.
Names, yes, over the last few years. Butterbean needs room to throw. If you're in close, he really can't do much to you.
Well, in close or outside, because either way, his arms are too short. He can't turn on a punch. That's how you get power, is by turning from the waist. You generate speed and power. Butterbean just clubs you. Like that, he takes a big swing, and Marcus just got to watch keep his eyes open. There's a jab. Marcus has got to use that jab more because this guy will eat them all.
So you're saying it's up to Rhode to be elusive.
That's all he's got to do. Just not stand in front of him.
Rhode not exactly a ballerina in there, though. And he's really slowing down, and he's getting in the wheelhouse of the Bean.
And he hit Bean with the right hand right in the button here. Oh, Bean wants him to come on. Sure, that's his game.
More of the Bean next. Back to Denver, Colorado. Larry Michael and Scott Ledoux in the ring. Butterbean going up against Marcus Rhode. Pretty even fight thus far.
Butterbean just ate another jab. He's been told in his corner, I'm sure, that you got to get going because he's losing. He lost 2 rounds.
Well, he likes to eat, but he doesn't like to eat level.
Marcus has got to get off the ropes and move. Got to move here.
Punch stats from the second round. Just 4 punches landed by Butterbean, 6 by Rhode. In our earlier fight, Valenzuela and Casillas, there wasn't a round where someone didn't land 20 punches.
Oh, I know. They were throwing hundreds of punches. These guys are having trouble getting 6 off. Or landing 6, I should say. Marcus always got
smiling at him.
Yeah.
Butterbean rushing forward. It's about his only move. He has to fight that way. Look at how low Butterbean's left hand is. I think he's trying to invite Rhode to come in.
Right hand right down the chute.
A big body shot that time by Butterbean.
I don't know why Rhodes would move in there. There's no reason to move in close.
Rhodes is beginning to feel a little confidence. Of course, this fight, as always for Butterbean, is scheduled for 4 rounds.
He'd have cardiac arrest if they had to go 5.
Scott, you know, it might sound like a stupid question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Would Butterbean be better off at a much lighter weight?
Well, maybe 100 pounds less. And he'd be a lot quicker, and he could be effective. He might be able to turn on a punch. Right now, it's just a sideshow.
Big ripping shots by Butterbean. And it started with the body shot with the right hand. And Rhode is facing a rugged road right now, trying to get up on his feet. And it is over. So the Bean gasses Rhode in the 3rd round.
What did he say?
Butterbean yelling down to us. I don't know what he said, but he's very happy. Yeah, there you go. Butterbean coming out, giving Scott Ledoux his props. He liked your style. You know what he said? He said, He didn't get his hit as much as you, Scott. That's why he doesn't have a busted up nose, baby.
But then he never was in the ring with 10 world champions either. He's been in with Dusty Trunks, Willie Get Up, and Kenny Last.
Well, you've been in against Kenny Norton and the rest. So this is how it ended in the third round. It was the body shots. He had hit him a couple good ones. And, you know, you were right, Scott. Why would Rhode stand in front of the Bean?
Just to get in there and dig his shots, I guess. Yep.
In all 3 rounds combined, Butterbean landed only 16 punches. What? 15 were power shots, but it was enough for his 58th win and his 45th knockout. The Bean, a winner again.